So a little while back, I made a video going over my main special interests as an autistic individual. Those were my big three, and I wanted to talk about some other ones that are like not like as crazy, like as intense as those, because those were just like my main like really big ones. And I have some other little things that I've been really into over the years. I've been pretty obsessed with and really into. I just wanted to talk about some of those things today as well. The first one I kind of wanted to go over is something I haven't really been doing much in recent while, and haven't been doing as much in recent years, I guess. And that is roller coasters. I'm a really big fan of roller coasters. I grew up around roller coasters a lot when I was a kid, and I was always so deathly scared of them. When I was younger, I would not get on anything. My dad was always trying to get me on stuff, and I was always way too scared. And I remember like a picture of me on like this like smaller like wooden roller coaster when I was a kid, of me just like looking like I was like my face was just crazy, like and I was really scared when I was younger. But I remember when I got into like high school, I went with like some friends one time, and I was still like really scared, and I'd finally just like was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. And I got on a roller coaster, and I actually really enjoyed it. I had a really good time, and then I kind of got like really into them after that. And for years after that, I think it was like really like started like 2016, 10 years ago now. I was going to like the amusement park every week. I worked at Panera Bread, and I was off on Monday and Tuesdays, which are like ideal days to go to the theme park. And that like whole summer I was going with my younger sister, just about every week. She was out of school, of course, for the summer, and we would go and ride roller coasters all the time. We had like a routine of going on certain rides. There's this one theme park that's really close to us that I grew up going to, and it was very special. It was a very special place to me, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And just that was like a big part of my life for like the past like 10 years, of just going to theme parks and getting on roller coasters. And I remember when 2020 came, and I just didn't really like, I didn't get to get on roller coasters, and I was like upset about it. Couldn't go to the theme park. It was a huge part of my life, and I was like very into it. And in 2021, actually, with my ex-partner, she like worked for like a tech company and made a lot of money, and we finally got to kind of live out my dream. I kind of bonded with this person over roller coasters and stuff. We got into it a lot together, and we went on a trip to Cedar Point, which is like kind of the roller coaster capital of the world, people say, and it's in Ohio. And that was like a big dream. I've always wanted to go there, and like I had a really good fun time with that. We went there and to this other park in Cincinnati, Ohio, called Kings Island. And I was always like intrigued by that place specifically too, because my dad said he had been there when he was a kid. So he worked at this other amusement park, and they like took him on a trip there. But that was just really cool for me. Like we spent like a few days at each park, and I got to ride all these cool roller coasters and just really experience that. And I really just liked the feeling of it, and just getting into different rides and riding them multiple times. It used to make me feel so alive and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. But here recently, it was a big thing with my wife and I now, back in 2024, when we were dating. When we first started dating, like early 2024, and we were going to an amusement park that was by her like apartment and out her way. There's like two main amusement parks like around the area that I live. One's like an hour away, and one's like 30 minutes away. And the one that's an hour away, the one that was 30 minutes away was the one I used to go to a lot as a kid and grew up going to. The one an hour away was one that was closer to my wife and where she grew up. And we were going there a lot, and we were having a lot of fun living life at that time. And within last year, like we were still like going a lot, and we just really, it's just the people. Like we don't really like being around people. We'd always try to get there like right when they would open and go ride our things before all the lines got crazy. That's another thing. I cannot stand waiting in a line. I just can't do it. Like I will start freaking out. I can't do it. So I have to, it has to be very specific when I do go to amusement parks. I have to be there and get on the, I want to go ride the rides. That's it. And I don't want to have to wait around. I mean, nobody really wants to have to wait around, but it's like a next level for me. And I just don't like being around other people and humans that just not my people, and just get on my nerves, and I just can't believe that people act the way they do, and it's just crazy. But I have had really excited about roller coasters in my life, like different types, like what these types of roller coasters are, just like this experience of like being out like and riding roller coasters at certain times of year, like into the early fall. And it just brings a great comfort to me thinking about being in an amusement park like early fall, and just like in the evening or something. It's just like, it's very comforting to me. But I can't really be around the people anymore, and I can't afford to go to them anymore. Like I used to get season passes and stuff, but I don't want to pay for it anymore, and I don't want to, like, I just started feeling like a chore to me to like make myself go, like, oh, I don't really feel like going out there, driving all the way out there and going. And so I decided not to get passes this year. It was the first time I haven't gotten passes to either amusement park. And it's like kind of sad, but I don't really miss it that much either. But I came to that decision. And the parks are changing a lot too, especially the one I grew up with, like got bought out by Six Flags, and it's just like was so bad last year. And like how they did the Halloween thing, make you pay extra to like go through the mazes and stuff, and they're just like the retheming of stuff, and how it's not the same anymore. And it's like crushing me. It makes me sad when I go there now. So that's like a big reason why I'm not really going to amusement parks anymore. It might be something I get into again someday maybe, but and just like a lot of the rides sometimes just don't make me feel good anymore. I'm getting older, and it seems like it affects me, and it affects my wife too, which kind of sucks. But roller coasters were just another big special interest of mine, and something I've gotten really into in my life. But the next thing I wanted to talk about is back in around that same time when I really got into roller coasters, like 2016 and such. I was working at Panera and such, and I was riding my bike everywhere and stuff, and I really got into like environmentalism, and like got kind of too obsessed with it, and like wanted to like really stressing myself out insane about it, like just really realizing how much trash there is that's produced, and just like wanting to like recycle everything within at the same time. It's like you can only like recycle certain things, and it's not even that good because it just really it's cutting down on everything. And I was like all about like, oh, I need to ride my bike, or I'm a worthless, I'm a loser, or like I'm just such a detriment to the environment if I drive my car somewhere. And I was just like so about that. And there was like a 2-year time frame where I like drove my car like once a week, like a mile up the road to go to the grocery store just to carry all the stuff back, because I didn't have a cart for my bike. I should have gotten a cart for my bike at that time, would have been perfect. But I really didn't fill up my tank in my car for like long periods of time. Or if I was going to the amusement park, I had to drive to the amusement park, and that was like a one day a week kind of thing. But yeah, I got really like sucked into it, and like I was working at Panera Bread at the time. It was a perfect place for an environmentalist to work. It's a fucking fast food restaurant where they just waste fucking everything, and you have to constantly like change your plastic gloves and fucking throw away all this plastic, throw away all this food that's perfectly good. Like that shit used to drive me crazy, and like, eventually it led to me fucking leaving. I couldn't stand it. I feel like I've come to a bit better, like not being as stressed about it nowadays. Like if I stress too much about it, like I'm not even gonna be able to live anymore. Like I'm gonna end up like passing away. But it's just so insane, and just like still like irks me sometimes and drives me crazy, but I've somewhat tried to put it to the back of my mind to like protect myself at this point. But that's just like something I was like really into and like really interested in, and still to this day like to try to be somewhat mindful of it, and just try to not make as much trash as I possibly can. But I'm always gonna make trash because I'm a human. I like, it's just kind of what it is, and I live in this world that all I know is trash. Like if I were to live like in a tribe or something, I would have been born into like a tribe or something. Obviously a lot of their stuff they make is, all of their stuff is going to be biodegradable. They're making stuff off the land, and that was kind of how it was supposed to be. But we invented fucking plastic, and it's going to be our demise, I believe. But I was very into environmentalism too, and just something it still lingers there in my head. But gotta protect myself. My brain, my fragile brain, has a lot of other fucking things going on too. So my next one, I've liked reading a lot in my life. When I was a kid, I used to love going to Barnes and Noble. It's one of my favorite places in the world. It's just, you walk in there and the smell. And it's funny, I was just talking about environmentalism, and you go and talk about a bookstore. And I, of course, like own so many CDs and records and stuff and music, but a lot of the stuff I like to buy secondhand, but I digress. Where was I going? Yeah, reading. I used to go to Barnes & Noble a lot as a kid, and just like I walk in there, smell those new books. Unbelievable how like amazing, like it's just like it's such a comfort to me. It smells so good. Like just like instantly brings a comfort to me every time I walk into a Barnes & Noble. Just like flipping through a new book, like looking at it, smelling like, I don't know if I'm the only one that like flips the pages and like sniffs the air. I love doing that all the time. Even on used books, it's like a different smell from each one. But yeah, I love doing that shit. But I used to, and of course, like the artwork that goes along with it. I've always loved like little artwork, and just like looking at the covers of books and just like feeling them, the brand new prints, like so satisfying. And just like the print on the pages, and it's so awesome. And I've had like on and off times with reading throughout my life. I used to read some as a kid. I had mostly like Magic Tree House books, Jeannie B. Jones, stuff like that. I remember like the book fair when that came to school. Oh my god, so fucking exciting! Holy shit, I loved that shit so much. When I see like one of those trucks coming with the book fair, I'm like, oh my god! Like still this day, like oh my god! Like I want to go to the book fair. That was so cool, so awesome, such an exciting time. But I remember reading some like through like some in middle school, and it started like middle school, like I started dwindling away, like, oh, it's not cool to be reading. None of the people I was around was reading. It's like a loser thing to be reading, and I didn't really feel like reading. And I really was like that through most of high school too, and then the end of high school is when I started really getting into reading again. And I have two books here that I wanted to show that remind me of high school and when I started getting into reading again and very intrigued by things. And the first one is a gruesome ass book, one of the most graphic books ever written, and that's American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. And just pure insane graphic insanity. I've always loved like horror stuff, so I was looking for like super graphic stuff that like, kind of freaked me out and all that jazz. And this was just fucking insane. Like I was just looking for something just crazy, and this was certainly crazy. My wife and I like somewhat bonded that we both read this book and we were like, god damn, absolute brutality, insanity, like it's fucked up. But I just remember this one being one of the first ones I read around that time when I really got into reading back at the end of high school, my senior year of high school. I just started reading on my own for fun. I just wanted to, and it's when I really got back into reading. And another one was this, Perfume by Patrick Süskind. It's a French author, fairly well-known book, I believe. I had never heard of it at the time, but I heard of it because it was Kurt Cobain's favorite book. He said, and I was very obsessed with Kurt Cobain at the time, especially, and I wanted to read this, and it was just like weirdo shit. Like I had been suppressing my weirdo-ness for years, like being in touch with me being a weirdo. Like I've always wanted to be a weirdo goofball. I've always loved weirdo goofball shit and just like strange things. So that's why like both of these books kind of put it in that, like you're kind of a fucking weirdo if you're reading shit like this, like into shit like this, like not the norm, I guess. I mean, this was still a bestseller book, but it's still weird and strange, and I just really admired that about like Kurt Cobain and stuff, and then just like getting back in touch with myself. This was like me first like coming back in touch with myself, like that part of me that I left behind in my childhood when I was a kid to like try to mask and blend in with everybody else. And this was like something that was starting to bring that out in me, start to get into weird shit, getting into weird music, weirder literature, just weird things. That's just, I started going back to the things that made me happy and intrigued me, and this was just like another big one for me in that regard. I also want to talk, I got some other books here, just go over just like some notable ones in my life. Remember when I was younger, I've read this book a ton of times. For some reason, I always go back to it. I'm probably going to read it again here soon. Whenever I go back and start getting into, like, I've just started, like, picking up books again and started reading again. I tried some reading last year. I was reading for a little bit again, but then I've just been a big gap again. And it's just been starting to read again and really excited about it again. So I'm probably going to go back and read this book. It's about, a black kid that goes to an all-white school, and it's like the racial shit that goes on with that, and the segregation and shit. And it's just like always, that's just been a topic that's always like really like hit me deep, and just always been like just intense feelings I have about stuff like that. And so it's just a powerful book to me, and just something I've gone back to a lot, and just like expresses like how I've always just felt this way about like racism and stuff. It just really fucking sucks, and just makes me feel so intensely emotional. So that's just what this book is about. So I'm excited to read this again, and I just like experiencing different times. I'd like forget exactly what goes on. There's like certain things I remember, but like I just want to, like, as I keep growing as a human, I want to keep going back to like some of these books and reliving them and seeing them with my different mindsets. Like years, it's probably been at least like I don't even know how long, at least 5 years since I read this book, probably. It's my guess. But and another one, this was one I read in middle school for the first time. It was a different version of this book, but I've this one just like, oh, it just excites me so much, just seeing this cover, flipping the pages. Oh god, it's so fucking nice. But I've got like the trilogy of this. It's a trilogy. It's like a young adult, older kid kind of series here. And this is the first book. Is called Inkheart. Cornelius Funk, I think. Cornelia Funk, yeah. She read that like book with like the dragons or something on it too, like older kid kind of books. But oh my god, this trilogy, especially this first book, so comforting to me. Just something I always want to go back and read. Just some of my all-time favorites. I've read it so many times in my life, and just want to just keep going back to it. It's just gonna be a book I'm always gonna go back to. Absolute essential for me. I love this red cover, this fantasy-esque kind of red cover. And it's like a fantasy kind of style book, and I love stuff like that. It's fun. It's just like comforting as hell. And I just remember like this book specifically. I remember reading it for the first time in 6th grade. And it had been like made into a movie or something, so I had like the cover with like the movie cover on it. I think I probably still have that copy of it too. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have gotten rid of it. I don't know though. I may have, but special book to me. Want to go back to it again, probably definitely into the fall. So I'm excited about that, and just really good fucking shit. Special, very special book to me. Next is this, I have an author that I've read most of the stuff by, and Me being into, of course, horror stuff, of course, this is not going to come as a surprise. That is Stephen King, and this is a like earlier edition, like mass market of these It, which is probably one of the most famous stories made into many movie adaptations. A lot of his stuff has been made into movie adaptations. It isn't my favorite by him, but this is one of my favorite books I own because it's like has this cool cover art on it. And it's like this like original like 80s kind of feel to it, and I really love that. I love a lot of the stuff that I have from Stephen King is like has that like 80s artwork and style, and that's what I like about his work too, like 80s and 90s stuff. It's just like it's such comforting to me. I've always been like intrigued by like older game shows and stuff too, vintage game shows, which could be another big special interest. I probably will talk about that next, honestly. But just that time is just so intriguing to me and comforting to me. So that was when he was in his peak and his prime, and I have like every book from those eras, and I've read all of them and would go back and read them again. But Stephen King, special author to me. I just probably the author I've read the most material by, and I was reading a lot of his stuff like 2016, 2017, 2018, kind of that era. I was reading a ton in that time, like all the fucking time. I was reading so many books, and like all through like 2020 and stuff too. Like there was like a good like 5-year time where I was just reading a ton of books. And this the book I was reading last year, the series I was reading is Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, which is the Game of Thrones books. And I got a copy like this this kind of a rare copy of this the original Game of Thrones book. It has like the cool fantasy art on it, and I think it was like in Australia or like a UK like version of it. So I'd never seen these in the United States, and I have other copies of it too, like the regular ones you usually see at the store. But I'm so happy to have. I have the first 3 books with this style, and it's so fucking cool. And treasure these. Really cool. The album art, or the artwork is just amazing. So cool. It's kind of like with music with me. Like I really love the artwork and stuff that goes along with it. Of course, we've got red in here, and we just got fantasy dragons and stuff. But this series is so unique. It's so cool. I love the world it creates, and just like the feeling. It's like unlike any other fantasy has made me feel in my life, and just really, really well done. Very intriguing. Hope he finishes the fucking story before he dies, but we will see. Amazing stuff here. Cannot recommend it enough. And the last book I want to show is the one I'm currently reading, and stuff I want to read more about into the future. And that is this book about death metal and grindcore, Choosing Death. It came out in like the 2000s. I just recently bought this at the record store. I traded some stuff in, and I got this book. It's just like a history of like grindcore and death metal and stuff, and so fucking awesome. I'm so excited reading this right now. It's just like some of my favorite shit ever. Reading about music scenes, this music scene, the extreme metal music scenes, and like just getting information about it. It just brings such a great comfort to me, and I love that music. Some of my favorite music in the whole world is like extreme metal, especially old school death metal. So unbelievably comforting to me, and just like one of my favorite things in the entire world. So it's really been, I'm excited about reading about this, and I have another book about just Swedish death metal. I have a book about just like the encyclopedia pretty much of black metal, and I've read those books, and I'm going to go back and probably read those. And I just want to keep finding more reading material about extreme music and extreme music genres and stuff, and learn more this way. And I want to read more like biographies of like musicians and stuff too. I've read quite a few, and I want to read one by David Bowie. I have one, and I just want to read more about like music scenes, like the goth scenes, and like some hip hop stuff too. Like I'm just excited. I want to keep reading shit like that and find out more information in that way, and that's probably stuff I'm going to be leaning more towards reading coming up too, probably. And another thing that goes along with books is something I do all the time. It's just like, this is a big thing to help me relax. It's just chill and just like enjoy myself, listen to music while I'm doing this. It's just something I've been doing for years that just brings such a great deal of comfort to me, and something I really love. And that is puzzle books. Sudoku in particular I really love. It used to be daunting to me when I first got into Sudoku. I didn't know how to do it. it used to just be like these here, these like word finds, circle the word is what I used to do a lot. But then I really got into like Sudoku, and Sudoku is my go-to now. I love Sudoku puzzles, especially like the easy and medium ones. I'm not very good when it gets to the harder ones, and I like doing them in pen, so I don't like erasing anything. But love doing puzzles. So fucking comforting to me. And I just like love sitting downstairs or sitting anywhere, or just like listening to music and doing puzzles is like one of my favorite things in the entire world to do. And I just love it so much. And also I was like some crosswords. I occasionally do crosswords. I'm like amazing at crosswords, but they're fun and very satisfying to complete when you do. And also I've been doing some like variety puzzle books, and there's like certain things within those books that I like to do, like some stuff that I've been liking recently is like I like doing fill-ins, and I like doing like the crypto families, when they tell you like something that it's about and you have to like decrypt it, like figure out what the letter is, that's like the wrong letter, and figure out like what words are. Loving that. And there's some other like puzzles and like the easy variety puzzle books that I like, and I have a ton of these like on my bookshelf in the hallway, and just like I'm just loaded for a long time. So I do these all the time, and I just like order like a big set of them from like the puzzle company, and you get a huge discount for just like buying like a 21 pack of like a certain type of puzzle, and that's just like awesome. I just fucking love. One of my favorite things in the world, easily. So wanted to mention, this isn't on my list, but wanted to mention game shows, like vintage game shows. Something I love so much, like have just like gone back to a lot. And I just think about the times I was happiest in my life was like around the time I was working at like Panera Bread, and riding my bike everywhere and stuff like that. And that was when I was doing a lot of puzzles, and I started getting into puzzles at that time. And but it was kind of, I guess it was a little bit later that I really got more into puzzles. It was kind of like more like 2018 through like 2020 when I was really doing puzzles. I used to get them like in the newspaper, like the local newspaper. My parents used to get it delivered to the house all the time, and there was a puzzle section, and I used to do the puzzle section every day, and they don't do it anymore, and it like really makes me sad, because that was like something I looked forward to every single day. I would sit down, it was part of my routine, sit down on the couch and do my puzzles, listen to my music in the evening. It was like I literally just like looked forward to it so much every day. And it sucks they don't have that anymore, but at least I have my books, my puzzle books, that I can always work on. But I did like the little variety that was in with that, the newspaper every day, and there was like comic strips and stuff too that I would read and keep up with. That was so comforting to me, so unbelievably comforting to me, especially as I was so lonely, and it was like made me like have some touch with the world, I guess. But vintage game shows, that was something I really got into. So there was like a summer, I think it was like going into 8th grade or something, or 9th grade maybe. I remember like almost all day, I would just sit on the couch and watch the Game Show Network. And it was just like older game shows, like there's stuff from the early 2000s, and but older stuff too, like Family Feud. There was this game called Lingo that I liked a lot. I remember watching at that time. I need to try to find some to download from like that show in particular. I need to find some from that. But those were like really big ones I was watching at that time in particular. And there's like this one called Chain Reaction, where you had to like find these words out and stuff, with like a chain. Like I thought that was really cool too. I specifically remember watching that at my grandmother's house on like Saturdays. It was like came on the Saturday afternoons. I remember that was like a big thing every time I go to my grandparents' house. And like nobody would like, oh Tyler, you can watch what you want instantly. Game Show Network. That's what I wanted to do. But a little after that, like when I was working at Panera and such, I didn't really watch them in high school and such. I would watch Family Feud here and there. I thought it was fun still, but it was like right after like high school, and like when I was like Panera and stuff, I would wake up. I was going to work really early in the morning. Like I had to be at work at like 5, and I was getting there like early, so I would get up at like 3:30 in the morning, and I would watch game shows, vintage game shows. I would record them from the night before. to watch the next morning, go in the DVR and watch them each morning. And the big one at that time, and I've been getting back into it again now, watching it almost every day, it's the $25,000 Pyramid, hosted by Dick Clark from like the early 80s. And God, that show is just like so fun to watch. I get so excited about it. It's so comforting to me. And I just love it so much. It's just so awesome. And it just brings me such a great deal of comfort, just seeing people come together to like talk about these just basic topics of the world, and just trying to win and like compete and have fun. And Dick Clark is such a great guy, and just like genuine. Everything just feels so genuine about it, and I love it. Like, I hate commercialism. I hate that all that's behind it, but like, it still brings me a great deal of comfort, like insane amount of comfort. And I remember watching that a lot at that time, and recently I've been watching Card Sharks as well. These have been like the two I've been watching a lot. Oh, and going back like early 2000s, when I was like in 8th grade and stuff, I was watching Deal or No Deal a lot, and that's another one I've been watching a lot too, with Howie Mandel, the American version. That shit is insanely fucking nostalgic. I remember I used to be obsessed with that show when I was a kid, and I had the little, like, there was like a little like lucky case, it had like, there was like this arcade version of the game, like this Deal or No Deal game, and I remember playing that with myself. And I have it for the Wii downstairs, like there's a Wii version of it, and it's so fun. I love that game too. It's so ridiculous, like, I've been going back to it in like the past like few years, and my wife and I just like to laugh at it, but it's still like super exciting. Such a simple show, simple idea, but it's just like so like suspenseful and exciting. And it's funny how they like make it extra suspenseful on the acting and stuff, and then it's pretty hilarious. But it makes for great entertainment, I guess. But Card Sharks is another one. I've been watching the original series with Jim Perry, and I remember like specifically like 2018 was when I really got into that show, like that original version of it. And there was like a revamp a few years after the original series went from like 1978 to like 81. And then like there was like a revamp in like the mid 80s, and it was a different host called Bob Eubanks, who had hosted the Newlywed Game originally. And I really like that version too. It's really cool, and I'm probably going to be watching that after I get through these ones that I've been doing. So what I've been doing is downloading them from YouTube, because they're all like on YouTube, and I've been downloading them to my like USB drive, and watching them in the mornings. It's been fucking amazingly comforting to me. It's like I'm not working right now. I'm unemployed, and just trying to bring all these things, like borderline suicidal before, and I'm just trying to make myself happy again, and I'm just going to the things that make me happy. And that's a big thing that makes me very, very happy, and just brings me such great joy. It's just been amazing. I've been sharing with my wife too, and she's been getting great joy with me, and it's just been really great. But that's probably for another video. I'm going to talk about like kind of an update of how I've been doing, and faring with things. But I'll probably talk about it some in like my vlogs, as I like to do my vlogs. But yeah, the Card Sharks, been loving that so much. Some other shows that I want to go back to, there's some that stand out to me is Tattletales is one that's kind of fun. I'm not like super excited about that one. That just like popped into my head for some reason. Like the Vintage Family Feud is kind of fun. You know, Richard Dawson's kind of a creep, but Match Game with Richard Dawson was in that too. Match Game was another big one I used to watch a lot, especially in like 2017-ish kind of era, kind of time frame. That's like another just like vintage ass one from the 70s. I feel like there's some other ones I'm forgetting right now, but game shows are just so comforting to me, and I love them so much. Those are the ones I've like gone back to the most. And there's Password Plus with Alan Ludden. Oh my god, love that one too. That one's really awesome. But I remember that one specifically in 2018 too. Like I was training for like a marathon at the time, and I was like I had hurt my ankle, and I was like swimming a lot at the gym in the mornings, and then I would come home. I was getting up really early still, and I would come home and like have my breakfast of like, I was eating a bunch of fruit, like shit tons of fruit, and I would just like sit on the couch and eat a bunch of oranges and watch those shows and stuff. And the Passport Plus, remember, specifically reminds me of that time. And it reminds me of the album, MGMT's album Little Dark Age came out like right around that time in like February of 2018. So that's like it's such a timepiece to me. It's so crazy. But yeah, but I love vintage game shows. I just love vintage things in general. I love like the vintage Scooby-Doo, like the original two seasons of the Scooby-Doo cartoon. So fucking comforting. Unbelievable. The original Halloween movie and the third Halloween movie, just those like horror movies from back then, just fucking amazing. Love shit from that time frame, like the turn of the 70s and the 80s, and I love stuff into the 90s too, but early 2000s has some special shit to it too. But like nowadays, like anything from like the 2010s to now, I don't really give that much of a fucking shit about it all, to be honest with you. But yeah, those are big special interests of mine. And I guess one other thing I'll mention that I have on the list here is that I like crazy events is something that kind of pops out to me too. And like when insane things have happened in the world, like stuff that like it kind of freaks me out too, like massive like death and shit, and like when like insane plane crashes, fucking 9/11, school shootings, crazy shit like that, just like, or just like mass shootings and shit. It's just like fucking crazy as fuck to me and just insane. And I just like get so fixated on shit like that and like want to like see all these details and gory shit, but it like freaks me out at the same time. But I just like get so like involved and just like, I don't know, I used to like dig deep into that shit and it would like freak me out, and I would get in this like really, it would make me feel insane. But I always like, it was so, it's such a weird thing. I haven't done like something like that in a while, but like I'm not very online anymore, which very helps that, and don't see the news and shit. But like just crazy events that have happened like that. And there's like this YouTube channel, I haven't watched it much in recent years. It's like some type of like kind of like horror, like real life horror kind of stuff, and it's like talks about like all these like crazy events that have happened. And another one that's really crazy to me that always blows my mind is like nuclear shit, like the fucking Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl miniseries documentary, like a 5 episode series, that shit is fucking crazy to me. Highly recommend that to anybody who hasn't seen that. Fucking blows my mind. It's so insane that shit happened. So fucking insane. And that we're still using nuclear power, and just how we're just playing with fire every single day. Could easily fucking destroy the world. Chernobyl almost destroyed the fucking world. Like, permanently damaged the planet in that area and the surrounding areas. Like, absolutely fucking crazy. Insane that this shit exists. This world is so fucking insane. And that shit just blows my fucking mind, man. Like, I want to find out all these details about it. And I really loved the Oppenheimer movie from 2023. And that, like, became, like, a meme. But, God, that movie is so fucking good and so intriguing. And just, like, nuclear shit is just, like, what the fuck to me. It's so fucking crazy. But that's just, like, another thing, like, crazy shit that has happened. It's, like, intrigues the fucking hell out of me. And, like, I get like obsessively into it sometimes. But yeah, that's some more of my special interests. That kind of wraps it up there. But yeah, let me know some of your special interests down below again in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Nerd out with me some special interests. Tell me if you have any that are similar to mine and match up with mine. And I'd love to have a conversation with people. We could nerd out about some of our special interests. So it's something I love to do more than anything, when I actually get to talk to people about special interests. Not something we get to do very often, because normies don't give a fuck and they get bored of you and shit. So but yeah, that's my video for today. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.